Call this meeting to order. The time is 10:02 a.m. And this meeting, sorry, I didn't pull up because I don't exactly remember. Okay, this meeting is being recorded by the Greenfield Unhoused Community Ad Hoc Committee. If any other persons present are doing the same, you must notify the chairperson at this time. So first we'll do a roll call of members and then guests can introduce themselves. So Councillor Sarah Brown, present. Christy Allen is absent and emailed that she won't be able to make it. Larry Thomas.
I'm here.
Reese McGovern.
I am here.
Robin Green.
Hello.
Pamela Goodwin.
Also here.
And Zoe Smith.
Here remotely.
Great. And then for our guests, do you want to go around this way? Starting with you.
I'm Jacob Clay. I'm with the sheriff's office. Just got posted downtown. You've seen a lot of your faces more often.
Hi, everyone. I'm Emma She/Hers. I'm the DV Emerge Coordinator with the 3-County Continuum of Care.
Hi, I'm Vega. I also work with the 3-County Continuum of Care. I'm the Coordinated Entry Specialist.
And I'm Hockey Wheeland. I'm one of the Human Rights Commissioners. And I'm here because one of our focuses is to end homelessness.
Excellent. Thank you all for being here. So first we'll start off with public comment. And if we have any members of the public who would like to speak, seems like we don't have folks, but we can just shift into our guest speakers. So if anyone would like to share any updates potentially on I don't know where you want to begin, maybe the point in time count or what the work that you all are doing.
Yes, we have an update on the point in time count. So last week we conducted our summer point in time count, which is to get an idea of how many people are unsheltered in our region on a certain night. We have to do it every winter, but we do it every other summer too, because we know that more people are unsheltered in the warmer months. And so a number from January doesn't quite represent the reality of our region. So we asked people where they slept on the night of July 20th. We have not received all the surveys back yet. We've only gotten 10 from Franklin County. Yeah.
I got sorry.
Totally fine. We know we have a lot coming from Larry. We really thank you for all you do. But as of yesterday afternoon, we had 68 surveys entered into our sheet, and they're not all deduplicated yet. And this winter, I think we ended up with 106 or 7 as our total number. So 68 is lower than that, but we still have a lot coming in. And 2 years ago, our number was 86. So like we are seeing an increase in unsheltered homelessness, but of course, like we all know that, and that's partly why I assume this committee was formed. We also created cooling kits to hand out to people who are unsheltered. We made 75 of those, and they all were distributed. We did give 16 of those to Larry, and we also gave out 11 at the community dinner at St. James and Andrew last Monday. Those are all the updates we have on that. Vega, I don't know if you have anything else you want to add.
No, you covered everything really well. Just again, that we're so grateful for everyone who's contributed to the fit count, especially you, Larry.
That 106, that was in Greenfield Unhoused and what's it?
Oh, that was all 3 counties.
Oh, okay.
I think the Greenfield number this winter was like 24. A lot of them were from the warming center that night.
Thank you.
And once we have those full numbers in the next couple weeks, we'll send them out and we can come back and share more specific breakdowns as well.
So when you're completed and you get the ones from Larry and you're finished, we'll know what the count
Yes.
was for the summer. You're going to come back and report that to us?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm curious about that because of the report that Officer Llewellyn had done. And when I met with him, he was talking about the number of unhoused that were in the encampments. So that'd be good to get the final count.
Yes, definitely.
Something to keep in mind was we don't necessarily get absolutely everyone.
No, I
Average.
thought this was lots of, sorry. No, I realize that, but it's helpful.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely can be.
And it was only done on the one day and, so. one evening.
Gonna add something?
Yes, I say a few things about the point in time count. So the point in time count, it is, we do have a lot of folks that are unhoused in our community, but it's extremely difficult to get them to all answer those questions. I can tell you honestly, I mean, I ran around on my bike and, yeah, so I got a bunch of them at home, but, I know it doesn't really represent the amount of people that are really out there. And I wish there was, to be honest, I wish there was more folks involved with helping me to do the count. Like they had some people from, supposedly last Friday, and they got like 7 or 8 people, 7 or 8, they did like 7 or 8 slips, but like, it's hard, honestly, it's overwhelming to go to all the sites, to get everybody's name and to do it pretty much all by myself. To be honest with you, there's no other agencies. I mean, there are other outreach agencies that I see around here with got slips. They got their badges that say they are outreach workers, but they have like caseloads, right? So they don't just see anybody. I see everybody. Don't matter if I don't have no caseload. I meet somebody today, I start working on today. So it becomes it's a lot, but we'll have a better count next week. I'll turn them all in today or tomorrow. Ones that I have.
Okay. Well, we should figure out how to support you better the next time. And Michelle, feel free to add anything. You can just come off mute whenever. And otherwise, maybe it would just be helpful to hear other projects you all are working on currently.
Well, I can explain a little more about what the 3 county COC does, because the pig count is only a little piece of it. The main thing that we do is that we are the in-between between federal funding and our subrecipients, which are housing projects in the 3 counties of Berkshire, Franklin, and Hampshire. So we work with a few different agencies that have different projects that house folks. The housing projects include permanent supportive housing. We have a couple that are rapid rehousing assistance and transitional housing. Throughout the counties in Greenfield specifically, we have a couple of youth programs, Vindara and Dial Self. We had MHA, which soon will be transferred to youth programs at Community Action, and we have let's see.
Dial cell.
Yeah.
Did you say that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
We have the youth specific programs in Greenfield, and other programs we have in Miller's Falls is generally, and Making Opportunity Count is a program that has housing throughout Greenfield and all of Franklin County, not Greenfield specific.
We have a new domestic violence project with Allison, to me rapid rehousing money for people who are experiencing homelessness due to domestic violence. And then we have a number of projects in both Berkshire and Hampshire County. And a new initiative that we started last year that I'm now the coordinator for, so it's kind of picking up steam, is our Emerge Coalition, which is to essentially have better collaboration between the various outreach teams and municipalities and first responders, et cetera, in responding to unsheltered homelessness, especially encampments. There's a lot of really great things going on, but there's also some gaps in our systems and some things that are being duplicated. So we just want to make sure that everyone is being served once, no one's being missed, and that we can all better work together.
Can you say that again? What's the name of the program? I was talking about the
It's
coordination.
called our Emerge Coalition, and I don't have the acronym with me.
That's fine.
I can never remember what it is.
And I'm curious about that one in particular, because that's something that has been part of our conversation. And I'm curious, like, what stage is that project in? Like, what has happened already? What are you currently doing?
I think we had 3 meetings last calendar year. There was some problems with encampments in Northampton, which kind of spurred the creation of the coalition. And so we had a couple meetings bringing different service providers together to kind of be like, what are we seeing on the ground? Like, what do people need support with? And then I started in this position, I think 3 weeks ago. And so I've just been trying to get a better lay of the land. I've been meeting with different outreach providers mostly to be like, what are you doing? Like, what are you seeing? What do you wish you were seeing? And once I have a better kind of feel on what's going on, we're going to have a meeting. I'm thinking at the beginning of September to trying to like get the pulse and see where people are. But obviously, like a lot of people are doing similar things. And so I'm not here to like recreate the wheel or anything. But to rather kind of just be the coordinating force, like get everyone on the same page, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah,
Okay,
that,
so-
yeah, that helps. So it sounds like it's mostly information gathering at this.
Right
point.
now, yes.
Is there like is there an objective, like a stated objective of that coalition, or is that gonna emerge from the information gathering that's happening now?
I think it's mostly going to emerge from the gathering and like meeting with people and seeing what they want this to do. Like our main purpose is to have a better coordinated response. And obviously like that can look like many different things and could take many different paths. And so like, I don't want to be the one to say, we're going to go in this direction. I want to bring kind of what I'm seeing to the group and see where others want to go with it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have a question. It's 3 counties.
Yes.
And so obviously we're focusing on Greenfield, or we try to, and
Yes.
we do, like, there's a 60-page reference that comes out of the north, like between North Quabbin and what's going on. And so there is a problem, I feel. This is my personal opinion, and I've talked to a number of people of who's doing what and a communication gap. And I mean, what I'm hearing from Tapestry, and then I stopped at the recovery center. And somehow it would be great if, like like Amy Colleen, who's been a guest here, if somehow people knew who was doing what, so there's not a
Yes.
duplication. And I'll give you an example. That little tiny yellow slip over there is for Greenfield. And it's not to say that we don't get people, as Larry knows and everybody knows, we get people coming up from Springfield, Northampton. I interviewed somebody who's like in Athol area. They kind of float back and forth. It's just not unique, or the number of people that are downtown. And I'll say this, a woman that I know from the warming center was talking about how dangerous it is for her to be down in Northampton area after that particular stabbing had happened on that bike trail. And she's like, she's safer up here. But that's part of what we're trying to figure out is like, who's doing what? And I don't know how to get everybody on the same page, because we all have that goal. We all are trying to keep them warm or keep them cool or be sure they're hydrated or find out what else they need. It's why we just are working on a survey. What do you need? What else could we help with? So I don't know where you're funding. Is it from grants? Is it federal money? Because you
Yes, so we are federally funded from HUD. So.
Interesting.
That's all I'll say there.
Okay.
But no, that's a really great point, Pamela, and I feel the same way. And if anyone wants to talk further outside of this meeting about like any ideas you have, things you're seeing, like I would love that. I can give out my email later. I don't know if I have to do that now, like on the recording, but yeah.
I know you said that that the coalition is centered around Northampton.
No, it's for all
Oh, it's
3
not.
counties. That
Okay,
was just
so it
like
was
the
prompted-
inciting incident.
Got it.
Yes.
So it was prompted by something that was happening in Northampton, but this is a coalition that is purportedly going to cover all 3 counties.
Yes.
So that sounds like something that either like we might want to participate in or
Yes.
have like a joint meeting or something. Yeah, so maybe we can plan on coordinating around that so that there are representatives from this committee in that meeting.
Yes, for sure.
Is it okay for me to talk?
Please.
So I just like, there's so many different things that we could look at. I know we got the survey. There's so many different things that folks need in the community. I just think that we need to like narrow it down. Because we can be spread out all over so many different things.
Yeah.
You know, that's the best way I can put it. I don't know how to put it. We gotta narrow it down.
Yeah, I'm hoping that today on the agenda, when we go over goals, I have a whole list of topics and I'm hoping today we can use that time to figure out like, this is our concrete recommendations that we're working on or, yeah, think about like the big picture. Because I know we've been a little bit like chaotically, there's so many things to work on.
Well, we've been in a lot of information gathering too,
Exactly.
just in terms of like what's needed in the area, but also what's available and how do people feel about it, and then what are there other people doing? Yeah.
Michelle, is there anything you want to add?
I'm sorry, there is, but I'm actually eating at the moment. I just posted something in the chat. I'm sorry.
Michelle.
I know we're like sort of not supposed to use the chat, so if you don't mind like reading it out loud yourself when you get a moment.
It's just so that we don't misrepresent something. But if you're not able to read it out loud, I can read it out loud for you. You can
Yeah.
correct me if I get it wrong.
We couldn't use chat, open meeting law.
Sorry about that. My mouth was full of food that just as soon as you asked, so I'm sorry. It just sorry, this was a little late, just for reference around the point in time count for Greenfield in particular. Wanted to share that in there was 24 individuals unsheltered in January this year, compared to 16 individuals in 2023 and 16 individuals in 2024. Sorry, for 2022, I don't have Greenfield specifically, but it was also 16 individuals for all of Franklin County in 2022. So we can assume it was 16 people or fewer counted for Greenfield as well. But we assume also those are likely undercounts.
And Michelle, these are just Greenfield for 2025 and 2024?
Yes, and 2023, also just Greenfield, 16 individuals were counted.
Got it. Thank you. So 16, 2023, 16 in 2024, and 24 in 2025.
Exactly, yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you, Michelle.
Well, maybe we can move on to hearing from some of the other guest speakers, and if there's other things you want to chime in on, feel free during the rest of the meeting as well. Would you like to share what's going on? I know you just started, but like, or do you want us to ask you? Yeah, how do you want to?
Right now, I'm just trying to feel out the meeting, but I don't know. Larry mentioned that there's a lot of issues. It kind of seems like everyone's all spread out. Just to make like pinpoint a few and like maybe designate a couple to like tackle this one, instead of everybody working on the same issues. And then you guys are just moving in a circle. I'm also an outsider just stepping in, so I'm also just trying to listen. And this is my first meeting, taking what you guys are saying, take notes. That way I can maybe produce more next meeting.
Things?
Thank you for being here.
Oh, of course.
Have you heard anything about like, I know the sheriff's department was like planning some cleanups or something, or do you know any? Yeah.
Not asking that because there's hazardous stuff out there, so they ain't gonna let the inmates do it. So I guess they were thinking about trying to get like volunteers to go out there do the cleaning.
Okay.
They're not gonna let the inmates do it. The sheriff's department went through, they walked all the way through from the Energy Park to Ryan and Casey's. And it's a mess all through there.
Sorry, that's a helpful clarification, because when we were talking before about the sheriff's department potentially managing some of the trash cleanup, I thought that we were talking about the sheriff's department managing the trash cleanup. I didn't know it was an indentured labor moment. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
good to know.
Yeah, we have our minimum and free release.
Yeah.
Those guys, they do stuff in community, like they'll clean up the parks, well, like the baseball field, do paint fences. But it would be too much of a liability if they got out there.
Yeah, it's just helpful to know that that was that when we're talking about the sheriff's department, like providing labor, we're talking about the carceral system. We're not actually talking about like staff of the sheriff's department. That's really helpful information to have.
Yeah, and they're looking to, they want to get volunteers to go out there because they're gonna need there's beds out there, there's couches out there, there's all types of stuff. You can't see that stuff, but when you walk through, it's all kinds of stuff down there. We would need ATVs to get some of that stuff out of there.
Yep.
It's really,
Well,
it's a trip walking from Energy Park to Ryan and Casey's through the woods.
Yeah.
And so.
And that's not one of the two encampments that
that's
I
neither one-
visited.
That's neither one of the.
I thought that was defunct. There are people there?
There's nobody there, but it's trash.
It's stuff
It's like
left over.
stuff. I mean,
Right.
it's so much stuff down there.
Is
They
that
leave
behind
that on
that
Mother
art
Earth.
space building? Are you talking about like kind of up when there used to be people behind on Deerfield Street? That art space thing?
No, it was back in there, yeah. If you
Yeah.
get behind Energy Park, there's a path that goes all the way. It's all kinds of, it's trails. And there's stuff all through those trails, all kinds of leftover
It's like years worth of
stuff.
detritus.
Yes.
I know somebody that was trying to clean up back there.
Yeah.
In the past.
You would need like, it would need to be a whole lot of people.
wow.
And that's what we've talked about, is trying to enlist the aid of the unhoused, the community, figure out who's gonna pay for the big blue bags. Because I feel like we go round and round. It can't be, is it gonna be DPW? No, then we hear it's gonna be the sheriff's department. And I agree with you. I did not know. It's vehicles and who's paying for bags? And when can we set the date and can see how many people are willing to help? I mean, I don't know, Sarah, if you're gonna mention an email that came to me, it was pretty horrifying. You know, sharps and
Yeah.
all of that. I got copied in on, I don't even know who those people are. Clean River people.
Source.
Yeah, Source to See cleanup. Those folks emailed about the September 27th cleanup, and they were, and they were saying they want to help.
High schools contribute to that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
They want to help with cleaning up some of this like encampment detritus by the rivers. So I feel like that zone maybe is like, we could target that date, September 27th, and put the word out. There's also like a Greenfield trash pickup club.
Yeah, and are they planning on going down to the sites where folks are at?
No, they were like, I think they just reached out and they were like, channel us wherever you need us. We're down to help. But I don't think that they would want to, I don't think they would want to do that without coordinating with like residents.
Yeah. Okay.
But I feel like that site that you're talking about where people aren't, where it's just fallout, that seems like, if people have protective gear.
It would have to be, it would be difficult. But even like going down to like, say, the dog park, you guys call that the old Greenfield River, I don't.
Green River Park.
Yeah, we call it, they call it the dog park. There's a lot of trash down there. There's probably 20 people camping down there.
Yeah.
They don't have enough places to put their trash.
Right.
So even going down there and picking up that stuff would be a major help.
Right.
I know you talk with Christy also, but she's not here. I can't talk about what somebody else told me, but just talk with Christy and she'll explain more. It's a big mess down there. And I don't know what to do.
I can talk about that.
Yes.
So Christy asked for some help cleaning up her site and I went down there last week or a week and a half ago, I don't remember. And yeah, you're exactly correct. There is a variety of detritus. There is insufficient sanitation services there, like they don't have a lot of trash pickup and there are like 20 people living there, so trash just builds up. And they also don't have sinks or showers or bathrooms. So it's not a great situation, but it is a situation that like the only thing it demands is just like people with trash bags and gloves, which we can provide. So I went down there and I cleaned up for
Thank you.
an hour or two and it was fine. I don't really feel like I made a significant dent. I feel like I helped clean up Christie's site. But Christy and I talked afterwards and there's definitely more to be done.
Yes.
So is there any reason we can't help organize that?
No.
Like this?
I don't see any reason we can't, right? I don't know.
No, I think just the more information that we've gotten about what's needed is specifically in terms of trash cleanup. The model that keeps coming to mind for me is like Habitat for Humanity, where they have 200 people who get together at a site and build a house in 48 hours, right?
Yeah.
That I think is the kind of model that we need to be thinking about because one person at a time is a really nice gesture and it is helpful, but it's a drop in the bucket. And what we need is like coordination of a bunch of different agencies. So if the sheriff's department says, we can't send inmates to do it, but we can send 2 trucks, right? That would be helpful. If DPW says, we're not going to send you people, but we can give you trash bags, that would be helpful. And if we can coordinate 6 or 7 different organizations and agencies who are all contributing something that they do feel able to contribute, then we could have critical mass to actually deal with some of this. But I think that if we try and do it piece by piece, it's never going to get done.
Can we
And
do
also,
that?
yeah, totally. And also, I feel like
Thank
the preventative upstream, like we're always gonna be
Yes.
behind the trash problem.
Yes.
But if
Yes.
we had trash pick up regularly and it had a sufficient size, then, you know, it could get managed, like we have to like catch up to get to baseline.
Yeah.
So,
Well, they only got 2 trash cans down there with all those folks.
right, and I know that the
Once a
mayor
week.
and other folks have said that they're worried that if they get a dumpster, then there's gonna be illegal dumping and it's expensive for the city to pay for it. So I think that's like their concern, but at the same time, it's like, it's not working. So. Yes.
What?
I'm fairly confident if I talk to the sheriff, she would, I mean, I can't speak for her.
Of course, no, I know.
But I'm fairly confident she'd be willing to help out with possibly some trucks, and I'm sure she'd be on board with reaching out, like going out in one of our or a couple of our briefings about getting volunteers, and I know we have outreach programs.
Or like, I don't know if this is something that the sheriff's department has access to, or if we should look for this elsewhere, but you mentioned an ATV. If we had some kind of vehicle that could get through the woods that's smaller than a truck with a trailer on it,
Do so much.
that would,
E-bike with a trailer. I
even
have
an
that.
e-bike with a trailer on it.
So much.
But that kind of like smaller, more flexible vehicle with some kind of cargo, that I think would do a lot
Yes,
because
it would.
it would mean that we wouldn't have to be carting every individual bag out of where we were cleaning.
We do not have ATVs, but we have gators, like the small, like,
Yes.
we
That would do it?
I think we have maybe 2 of those.
Okay. So that kind of contribution, right? If labor is not an available contribution, but vehicles are, that would make an enormous difference. And I think it would give us a good place to start, where if we could say, we have these vehicles on these days, and now we just need to find labor. Or now we need to find the labor in the trash bags, like it becomes easier, right? If there's somebody who can commit to saying, we can give this part of it that we know is absolutely critical.
Right, but we need someone to pick days and do outreach and things like that. Can we,
Yeah, that'd be great. And also, do you want to, before we get into like wrapping up, yeah.
I was just gonna say that I think her name's Amy from the
Yes,
Interfaith
Amy.
Coalition. Like I know
Interfaith.
she, like out of her own pocket, like her and her husband, I believe, like they like hauled mattresses away. So like bringing her into the conversation.
Right.
They're on
I was-
vacation. They're
Yeah.
taking a break because they have a family issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's been told to us in Housing Green.
But they're in our loop.
That
Okay.
right now.
Definitely.
I talk with Amy on a regular, not regular basis, but a lot. And I got some folks to open up there, a site that was left last year at the graveyard there.
Yeah.
And we had to take mattresses out and 50-something bags of contracted bags of trash, and there still was stuff left over after that. Like, folks, when they living outside like that, that stuff can build up.
yeah, so if people are okay with it, I guess I'll start writing a list of agencies and we'll talk about September 27th. And I'll start calling people and asking, hey, can you come do things on September 27th?
It sounds great. And also sooner, an August date. I'm like, let's get.
With the heat, I would say I actually like the idea of waiting until the end of
Okay.
September because it's been so hot that my concern is if we try and pull something like this off and it's 90 degrees, we then run into a risk of like mass heat exhaustion.
We can have a trash action for like multiple days. So
There you go.
We're locking in September 27th. When I speak to this with the sheriff, I can give her a date.
That'd be great, because that's what the Source to Sea cleanup already wanted to do.
So
That's also a solid 2 months, which feels like the necessary amount of time to try and coordinate this much this many moving pieces.
And they listed some sites of concern, Greenfield Bike Path, Hillside at Coleraine Street, we talked about that, the Green River Cemetery, Green River Park, River Street behind Enterprise Rental, Eliza Lane, and Mill on Mead Street. I don't know that, but we can.
Sure, we'll figure out those.
But that's great. So we have a date.
I'm so glad they they know where they want to go to, so that's really good.
Yeah, so we can, and I feel like, well, yeah, that'd be great.
Can you guys email me / Tammy, organizations you think should be involved and places you think we should focus?
Yes, I can forward you this email too.
Thank you very much.
But yeah, we're saying DPW for bags, Sheriff's Department for vehicles,
Greenfield Police.
Greenfield Police, Greenfield Trash Pickup Club,
There you go.
and
Source to see, I guess.
Source to See,
Interfaith Council.
Interfaith Council. Should we write these down?
I think we could also reach out to like Green and Greenfield,
Right,
some of the other like local citizen organizations.
To the sheriff, we have so many outreach programs. I'm sure she'd reach out to some of them.
great.
What
Yeah.
about like in the meantime though?
Yeah.
Cause
good
it's like
question.
another 2 months of trash. Oh.
I would love to see us have a clearer answer on ongoing trash management by September 27th. It would be really nice to be able to return to some kind of baseline and to be able to say, this is the plan going forward. And I know you want to talk about like recommendations. I think that if we can put action towards anything, it would be really nice to at least be able to say, we have a plan for managing the trash buildup moving forward, which will then sort of de-stress a bunch of other things.
Right.
And in the future, if there was going to be some kind of established area, intentional village, encampment, whatever, and people moved, if there was ongoing trash management, it would make that move a lot easier.
Would it be possible, and would be able to answer this for me, would it be possible if the town, like say Greenfield, Green River Park, once a month or every other weekend, they sent a trash truck down and the people that live in that campment could just dump? Would that be a possibility? I don't know who I think would be spoken to about that.
I think that would be DPW.
Well, I don't think we can assume that DPW is going to give us the
No, but
bags.
that's what I'm
No,
saying.
no, but we've talked many times about how to find the money for the bags, so. Chief Dodge talked about it, and they have their bags that they have to buy, and so. Buying the bags, I think, is one of the issues, and I'm willing to see if, maybe Amy can take a phone call, because I do know they have a family issue and they've stepped back, but they're not totally. Unavailable as far as funding, if there's interfaith money for anything like that. But I'm agreement about not waiting. Yes, we need to do something on the Green River cleanup day. But is there any way we can do something light with a group of people in August?
Right.
Because I think it's crazy to just say, well, could not, in the meantime.
Well, we unofficially tried to organize a cleanup day for Christie and it just turned out that I was the only one who could make it.
I never heard anything about it.
You know what I mean? Well, it was not in this group. It was just
Oh, okay.
a couple of us outside of the group. But
And if
I mean-
there's 20 people down there,
it doesn't have to be a big thing. We can just, this is the other thing is like, I like doing this. It's good to do things formally and officially and have structures in place. But if you have a friend who has a campsite and needs help cleaning it, you could just go. You could just do that. Sorry. Off the box.
Can I ask one question? I'm just thinking about for the folks that are living there, like if a bunch of people are showing up to their campsite, if that would be worrying to them. I just want to ensure, so for the 27th, the places that we want to clean up, are they abandoned completely? Do we know that for sure?
I think it's a mix.
There's some that are abandoned completely, and there's some that there might be still some folks up there.
Okay, so I just don't want to like be scaring them or just be alarming to have a bunch of people showing up to see how we have
I-
as well. or just warn them maybe.
Yeah, can I just share something? So I get that, and just walking up on people's sites, like walking up in somebody's house, right?
Yeah.
I get that totally. But if the folks would, I have mobility issues. I can't get out there and help. They drive me insane because I used to do all this stuff 3 years ago and I can't do it no more. But folks they need help with their trash.
You may want it.
They want help.
Yeah.
They call me, Larry, what can we do? I need help. So there's people, they can't get that stuff out there on their backs or on their bicycles or their electric bikes or whatever they got. They just need something.
In our last meeting, Christy said that many of them do have jobs and 5 o'clock in the afternoon, because we asked when would be when I went, there was nobody living there at the time with 2 officers. So if in fact 5 PM, it doesn't get dark until later and we can catch them there and they have advance notice, because otherwise I think it is a bit intrusive, but they are asking to get some assistance.
I would,
And we need them to help alongside of us.
I would love if it wasn't just like a one-off September 27th, but we're really truly figuring out the like monthly at the minimum, like routine. I think, I mean, we can even just be like last Saturday of the month, like this is happening. I know this is ambitious because it's not really happening, but like, yeah.
That's what I was talking about with the town. I don't know. Like I said, like, could they go to these places twice a month? I mean, I'm sure the DPW employees want to go through and grab the trash. If they pull up with a trash truck,
Right.
I'm sure they could let them toss it in like
If-
twice a month.
If the sheriff's department would like to do some advocacy on the behalf of folks who need this service to the town of Greenfield, that would be extremely welcome.
I can always I'll talk to the sheriff, but like I said,
Yeah,
I'm
no, I know,
I can only do so much.
it's just like,
Yeah,
what we need is people who are in positions of relative power to say this is needed and we need the town to step up in these ways. Because the citizens have said that and we have said that, and we have run into some resistance because there's cost associated with this. There's limited manpower, there's schedules that need to be worked around, there's coordination issues. And this is not an unknown problem, I don't think, but I think that it does need like critical mass of people saying, we have to do this, we have to deal with this. So like, we're gonna keep saying that, right?
Totally.
But also it would be lovely to have support coming from multiple sides.
has anybody reached out to anybody that the mayor or any to come to any of these meetings or?
Yeah, might be good
We
to
met
have
with the
mayor.
mayor. Mhm.
Yeah, but, and also I feel like the concern about like, people are gonna take their household trash and like do public dumping. It's like, what if we, like, right now the barrels at the pavilion, but like, we could just have the actual barrels that the city, like, at the campsite, like, because that seems, then you're gonna reduce the risk of like public dumping and also maybe increase people using it if they don't have to schlep as far.
The DPW seems to, they're short-handed.
There was,
So they're short-handed, they're running short. So I don't know what they would be actually, I mean, I know a few meetings ago, we talked about that, the DPW, and I think the mayor said, yeah, they're not really, I don't think they're gonna do extra.
right. But also if it's,
They're just gonna do that one, they got them 2 cans and they're gonna do it once a week. And that's where they're at.
But also that to me feels like, right now it's considered extra because what is there is insufficient.
It's very insufficient.
And so if we were to reestablish what is there and make that part of the routine, and it's not an extra thing, it's just, we have adjusted some scheduling and this is now part of the route, that would manage it so that it's not extra, it's just part of the job. But because the encampments are technically legal and because people who are unhoused in Greenfield are not really given equal citizenship status in the ways that they receive services from the city, it's considered extra. Right?
It's messed.
But it's super messed up, but like, but like that, it's, when that is the reality, then it's considered extra and then you're like, well, we're not gonna do extra. It's like, well,
it's not,
it shouldn't be extra, it's not, it's part of what the city should be doing.
Can I ask a question? Do we have trash bags in the place that people can use now?
Not really.
This is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Jesus, let's get some trash bags.
I got some contracted bags, but they ain't just, they don't got the, I guess they gotta be blue. I got a bunch of contracted bags.
Right, so it's
That's-
multiple pieces. It's, there aren't any bags,
Yeah.
there aren't places to put the bags, there aren't people to pick up the bags that get put in places.
So, yeah.
Well, the blue bags are free, but they're thin.
Yeah.
Free? Those great big hefty blue bags
The
that
blue bags that the city distributes for like the,
we did with the downtown cleanup?
yeah, exactly.
I didn't think they were free.
But they're also gone.
Well, nothing's
Yeah,
free,
basically.
somebody's paying for it.
So they're gone. So we don't have, do we not have access to garbage bags right now?
No, we don't.
Well, then let's get some. Jesus,
Yeah.
you know. I
How much
mean,
they cost? And how much they cost to those bags? Anybody know?
Can't be,
Well, it's not just the bags, right? The bags is like, okay, somebody can go and spend $50 and get, 6 rolls of contractor bags, but then the problem is the pickup cost.
well, but let's start with getting the bags.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think that's really important. And the other thing is, we talked about a regular time or date that people would go to help. And I mean, I think we could do that. If I'm not out of order.
Yeah.
Say, all right, so this, the second Saturday or whatever day of the month, that, the people will do this. So that the people who are living there know that we're coming, and people in our organizations know that that's, we want you for 2 hours. I mean, I think that those two things, and I mean, we could pass a kitty here right now and get some money just to go get some bags for guys.
I will say, just jumping forward,
Thank you.
what the people that I've interviewed don't have money, and they're not gonna go spend money on trash bags. They're spending money on food, and they are eating at the free churches and so forth, and so they're not gonna go buy garbage bags.
Yeah, but we can.
Yeah.
Right, well, anybody can. Let's, nobody's sitting around watching our ad hoc meetings. It's on community TV. We haven't put out a plea on who we would send money to or how that would work. We could certainly set that up
yeah,
and say,
Interfaith Council said they were willing to accept donations for activities of this committee. And the city probably would, but it's probably simpler to go through Interfaith Council. Okay.
so could we just choose an August date I was suggesting.
Sure.
I think that's what Bob
Let's
said.
do
We
last Saturday of August to keep it.
No, not the
just- No,
last.
that's too close, the September thing.
Yeah.
Oh, because then it's, because September 27th is the last Saturday, so that's why I thought if we did
So that would.
August 30th, then it's cooler than
Labor Day weekend. I
Oh,
don't know
is
if
it?
it matter.
Yeah, it would.
August
Getting people.
23rd.
3 weeks. It's enough time.
Then we're consistently on the fourth Saturday of the month.
It's not a good day. I mean, anyway.
It's not.
But maybe for everybody else, if you have a conflict.
No, it's not.
Saturday's not a good day?
The fourth is a bad time to do it because there are holidays, there are all kinds of different things. I usually say to people the second or third Saturday of the month.
I didn't know that.
There's more flexibility. Usually the third, there's no national holidays and all of that stuff. But
Okay. Does anyone want to figure this out? Like, we can make a smaller group of us to be like, okay, these are the folks figuring this out. I don't know who else is like. Oh, great. Okay, you're done.
Thanks.
Cool. And then you want to just keep us posted. Okay, so August TBD sometime. And we'll try to figure out an ongoing management, and possibly that would look like a conversation with the mayor, most likely, once we have some concrete asks and. Okay, so, yeah.
just one more thing. All right, I'm going to put in $20 right now and pass the hat around. If anybody else can put in $1 to just go get one box of bags, for God's sake, to get this started. I mean, we talk, like, we can't even decide on a Saturday, for God's sake. I mean, come on. I mean, I know
There's
it's,
too
I
much
know it's
talking. I
summertime.
know. I feel
So
like this group
I have
does
a
a lot
box
of
of
talking.
contracted back.
You do.
I have a box, my job, yes, I have a box of contracted back.
So can we get them out
I
there?
have it.
All right.
Yeah, when you want to get it, when you want.
I'm sorry.
When you want me to give you the, when you want me to bring the contracted back? Tell me when we bring.
I'll pick them up.
Okay.
Rather-
Today.
Yeah, okay.
Can you do it this afternoon?
Sure, yeah.
All right, this afternoon.
Great.
There we go.
Thank you, Paul.
There you go.
Okay, so we're,
It's a small drop in the bucket, though.
Of course it is.
But it's a start. We gotta start.
Fucking-
Gotta stop
Saying everyone's saying, it's like, you gotta find a continuous system. You can't just do it once. Like, he's
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
a big deed, but it's like, that's just
Yeah.
one time. It's like, it's gotta be continuous.
It's
If you
continuous.
actually want it to be clean,
things are
it's like you guys keep saying, it's like, it can't just be one time or one weekend every couple of months. It has to be a continuous cycle or else
Right.
it's gonna keep building.
Yeah.
And then, like he said, you went to a camp, if you used what, 20 contractor bags at the 50, and it was still trash.
It was still trash left over.
That's what I'm-
Site.
That's what I'm trying to get at is, it has to be continuous. It can't just be a one time.
We'll get more bags. I'll get more bags. I talked to Amy, I'll get more bags, but
Great.
I'll get this one box up and I'll get more
Hey,
okay.
from the interfaith council.
So we're sort of went into the discussion on access to resources such as bathrooms, trash, charging stations, and a map, wayfinding map, and we have announcements. The announcement is like really quick. There's an eviction ceiling clinic with Springfield No One Leaves that has not been scheduled yet, but they're looking for a location. They're doing it in every county. There's one in Holyoke, I think, like next week. So we can put out the word to you all if you and Larry choose.
So we don't have a date for
For the eviction.
area for no one leaves?
No,
That's what you said?
yeah, no date yet. Anyone else have announcements, and then we'll go back into talking about resources, and I can screen share a map. Okay. The benches are back. I don't know if folks saw that.
Amazing. How did that happen?
They're not back facing the street. They're not in the same location. I mean, it's like just, I haven't actually walked and seen it yet, but yeah.
Do we,
The Main Street ones.
do we know how that happened?
Yes, the mayor was asked, was she gonna put them back? And then she worked with Chief Dodge, and so the bench is not gonna be blocking the sidewalk. That's where a lot of traffic and a lot of arrests and drugs were right there. And so it's a bench that's coming back. I think the chess table might be also returning, and the bench will be facing the pocket park itself.
So the mayor.
Been a big article,
Bring it
yeah,
back.
yeah.
What
City
is-
council, she was asked, are you getting the bench back?
I would just mostly,
This committee forming, that decision led to like increased public interest. And then the council formed this committee.
For some background, there was a set of public benches on Main Street that were used very frequently, especially by our unhoused population. People started complaining about it and the mayor removed them. And that was like. a big
Unilaterally.
deal. Yeah, unilaterally, yeah.
The businesses were affected. All the businesses on Miles Street and all around were very much affected about everything. So I think there was a little research before somebody just decided to do something.
And then
And they're
it sounds like they're back.
Okay, I would love to screen share this map. Do you think you could make me a co-host?
yes.
Or maybe I can share without that. Oh, no, yeah, I'm still not a co-host.
You
Okay,
should be good now.
okay. Okay, so I didn't get started that much, but the goal of this was to take some of the topics that we were talking about, like, okay, where are all the bathrooms? Here's like the porta potties currently. This is Portland Lou. And then I don't know why it's not the library, whatever. And then this is where there's public Wi-Fi, Court Square. These are some free meals. Also, if it's either a meal or for the food pantry. And it's where you can shower, laundry. I didn't I didn't want to make this redundant because I know 413 Cares also has maps. For example, like if you put in your address and then you look up like food or goods, then it like pulls up a whole bunch of things. But so I think that next step would be like talking with 413 Cares about their mapping system and how, and ours maybe could be like a hyper local version of that. It could be like, there could be like a code and whatever, like it could be a print map that's distributed. So I think there is still a usefulness to this, even though we already have like the 413 Cares pamphlet that's like on the bulletin board right there. So anyway, just getting that started. I didn't know. I also literally don't know some of these things, like all the charging stations. Like there would need to be like research about this and the outdoor water refill, like an indoor water refill. And also I think maybe in doing this map, that also helps us realize like where there's gaps. So that's a proposal, potential thing that we can be thinking about.
There, if I may, there's also DVIP recently approved an updated map for like domestic violence services that I think have a lot of crossover because a lot of them are organizations that do support as well. I haven't got my hands on that map yet, but I did meet with Hannah at the GBA and they have their like walking kind of touristy map platform. And she was very enthusiastic about using that to help with this. So I think I love what you did with the Google map. I think we should probably figure out the types of things that we want, put it all together with like what 413 has, and then we can call and decide what would be most important on that like paper walking map as well. And then Hannah can make that happen too. So
Awesome.
Zoe, is there a digital version of the tourist walking map, do you know?
not that I'm aware of. It's actually a proprietary product, and the business association, you basically purchase access to that product, basically like the copyrights. And so I can ask her again, but there's no digital map that I'm aware of aside from just a PDF version of it. But she has the software that she can basically create exactly what we want overlaid on, you know, a cute little downtown Greenfield image. And then we can, you know, do what we want with it.
Awesome.
Awesome, thanks.
Yeah, that's great. Because I was just doing things in like the spreadsheet where like you fill it out and then you import that into Google Maps. And then it just creates the map. But that's cool. I like.
Yeah, I love the map. I think, you know, certainly, like I said, one of the struggles has been kind of directing somebody who's on foot and not from Greenfield how to get to places. So if we can keep, you know, a somewhat up-to-date Google map accessible by a QR code and things like that, people could use it in real time on their devices and get directions and stuff like that. So I think it'd be really good.
Cool. And I know Amy Kaline also was interested in some sort of resource mapping. So we can think about that. And then the other thing that I hear as like something that's good for a community to do is to have like wayfinding signs, like to actually have signs where it's like food that way, bathrooms that way, whatever. So we can think about that. That's more of a budget expense, but like that would be a nice stretch goal.
Do we have a contact person on 413 Cares?
I do, and I think that maybe that person, I can invite them to our next meeting and like reach out to them because I feel like that would be good to integrate with that. Because also maybe what we work on, I know also even someone in Northampton with Touch the Sky, which yeah, you know, like supports unhoused folks down there. They wanted to do a map like this for Northampton. So I feel like maybe some of this could get integrated to 413 Cares, the website there. Yeah. Any other feedback on maps, mapping or interest
This is sort of a related comment. It might be related to a later agenda item, but I think it applies to this. I reached out to Tapestry Health. I'm waiting for a callback from them. And hopefully what I can get from them is all of the current locations of the Sharps boxes
Oh,
that
good.
they provide and manage. And then also we can look at that on a map and see if there are areas that, based on our information, that we would like to ask them to put in a new box.
That's great.
You should do Narcan too.
Right, thank you. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I know that Tapestry just gives it out to anyone who comes to their office. I also wanted to mention, we have a person with lived experience committee with the 3-county COC, and we were talking about something very similar of creating a map. And if something that would be valuable to you is having the input of those who have experienced homelessness and like what resources are most important, maybe we could collaborate.
Yeah, that's great. I don't know what the best way to do that is, but yeah, like,
Either a couple of them attend this meeting. I think that maybe would be the best.
Awesome. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and charging stations, I think you reached out to Carol Collins on that.
Yep, I also reached out to Carol Collins specifically about the charging station at the skate park. 3 of the 4 solar panels are damaged. So I'm suspecting that doesn't get a whole lot of power. I'm waiting to hear back from her about who manages that, how it will get fixed, whether that's in the budget or if we need to make some money appear so that it can get fixed.
So I think that, and then the other charging stations I'm aware of are like where the benches got put back. There's that one.
Is there a
No,
charging
there is
station?
other
No,
ones.
it's in
There was
Court Square.
it's in Court Square.
It was in Court. Is it still there?
No, it's not.
It's not.
There's nothing there.
Yeah,
I
so
don't know what
that,
people plugging their stuff in.
I mean, I
That's
guess the pavilion at the dog park has a charging station.
well, I think the library, the library is where people are plugging
The
things in.
library.
Yeah,
People plugging in.
But part of the conversation that I want to have with Carol Collins is, why is this the only one? Why is it broken? And once we get it fixed, how can we put in more?
Yeah.
And how much does that cost and who manages them? And right now, I'm guessing, based on other experiences that we've had, I'm guessing that this is hypothetically managed, the charging station is hypothetically managed by part of the city of Greenfield and upkept by a different part of the city of Greenfield, and that those 2 parts of the city of Greenfield are not talking to each other. So the management doesn't know it's broken or has said, it's broken, that's not our problem. And the management, the people who actually upkeep it are either saying, well, we need orders from XYZ in order to fix it, or we didn't know it was broken because nobody told us. So I'm guessing that there's a problem of communication here.
In all fairness, I believe the one at the skate park, at least one of the ones I've seen, someone smashed the solar panel.
Yeah,
So I'm just trying to be real. It's like, it's probably not on the top priority because of it was, you get what I'm saying, physically, like.
right.
So I just went down there the other day and I seen that someone had smashed it.
Yeah, and my question is, why is it at a 5-foot height and not a 10-foot height? Because that would solve the problem, right? And so that, like, this is the kind of thing that somebody put it in, and I don't think that the ramifications and potential problems were like fully considered with some of these things before they were installed. Like, the idea of having a charging station is awesome. But if you have a concern that somebody's gonna smash it, you don't put it in at 5 feet, you put it in at 10 feet.
No, I
You
understand.
know,
They were probably just thinking about helping out, like, why would somebody
Right.
just, you get what I'm saying? I'm like.
yeah, but then you also run into this problem where there were charging stations at Court Square and then were removed.
And so also at the skate park, I mean, I don't know if anybody goes down there, but those benches are metal.
Yep.
It was 96.
So
People sit on
hot.
the fucking, excuse my language.
You can feel heat radiating off
It's
of
metal.
them when it's
The
really hot.
benches are metal.
Yeah.
It's like sitting on a stove
Yeah.
Yeah.
when it's 90 degrees outside.
I live, yeah, I live just down the street from the skate park, and on hot days, if I walk past the skate park on that side of the street, the temperature difference between 10 feet before the skate park, and the middle of the skate park is about 20 degrees.
That's
Because there's a wall of heat coming off of that. It's all concrete and metal.
all that.
And it's, you know, nobody can sit there in the shade because the bench is 115 degrees.
Yes. Well, that's even another, yeah, like shade screens or green space.
Yeah.
Is something.
Like, for that matter, what if we put a parking shade and had solar panels on the top of it, right?
Now, there's a thought.
So I'm hoping that I will get a response from Carol Collins and that we can have a productive conversation about like what is currently happening and what some other options might be to improve those services.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think, I mean, it's almost tangential, but it's really important. I mean, every one of our big parking lots should have canopies with solar collectors on top. And, you know, we could take that back to the mayor and city council.
It would be an incredible investment in both the
course.
safety of the outside space and the energy efficiency of the town.
Of course, yes, we could give Ashfield some competition.
So we have a half hour left. What a packed meeting. And wondering if we can go into the unhoused survey progress, but if it could, is it possible to keep this brief? Because I'd like to get into the goals.
Could I have the surveys that you have? I think
The ones I
You beat me.
did, I combined with the one Pamela McBride had from the
You
library.
beat me to the library. So Pamela collected several. That's great. 8, okay, so we've gotten 10 more survey responses since our last meeting, which is awesome. And considering that we are working with a somewhat small number of people who are somewhat difficult to be in contact with, just due to like the logistics of getting people in the same place at the same time, when everybody's in a headspace to do something like this, I would say that 10 respondents since the last meeting is not bad. So far, I haven't looked at these because I just got them, but so far we've gotten some answers that suggest that a top priority for folks is the availability of housing. Unsurprising, right? This is something that we know. But specifically, we've had one person said, what I need is senior housing.
Yeah.
Because it's not just housing, it's also housing that has an accessible bathroom and housing that is within, you know, reasonable travel distance to downtown and has access to services. And then somebody else saying basically that they are newly homeless and are newly trying to navigate the system. And interestingly, their response to the question, how do you think Greenfield is doing in providing services? They said they think it's pretty good. So as somebody who is trying to navigate the system for the first time as an adult, they feel pretty good about the services that they have access to and the people who are in contact with them and trying to get them support. They also responded in the survey that they feel like they don't, the uncertainty is something that is really like hurting their mental health. And that's, again, not something that is news, I think, but it's worth bringing up again because so far our work has centered around people who have been homeless for a while and who have been in spaces where they are accessing services regularly and they have been out of stable housing for a little while. So it was interesting to me that we got a survey respondent who basically said, this is a new experience for me. I actually feel pretty good about the services that are available, but the whole experience is starting to affect my mental stability. So that is a piece of informative information. Now that I have these, I can input them and I can come back at our next meeting with a little bit more data. So that's the update on surveys. The QR code is hopefully going to continue collecting folks' responses. It would be great to have a few more times that people are planning to go to summer eats or the library during a hot day when it's a cooling center, or just out and about. And I've been carrying one of these in my bag and like handing it to people. If I run into them and end up in a conversation, that means it makes sense. The more that we can get information from folks, the better we can be guided by their experiences.
Can somebody refresh me? Tuesday night, Summer Eats Library, right? Time?
I can pull it up. I
And
think
then
it's on the
Wednesday, State Park. Because I think this week I can do both.
Yeah.
2 locations. I find they can take longer than 10 minutes, but I got really good answers on
It
it.
depends how much people want to talk.
Yep.
Right.
Nobody was really wanting to skip anything to me. They were really very interesting results.
And I feel like if you remember what we've been tasked with by the council is to come up with a report and recommendation. So I feel like the survey data, distilling some of those responses into for that
Yeah.
report would be good.
This is a sufficient number for me to actually start writing up a short report summary. So I can bring a draft of that the next time that we meet, and I can add to it until we decide that we're ready to hand it to the city.
5 to 6.
And
Thank you.
would you be able to, with the lived and living experience committee,
Share this with.
that'd be great.
Yeah,
Does
because
that meet virtually and is it all
Maybe.
counties?
It meets virtually, yeah, but we have a good amount of Greenfield folks.
Okay.
and even if folks don't necessarily stay in Greenfield all the time, but do come to access services, we would still like their response.
Yeah, okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
That's, yeah, so it says, do you live, stay, or access services in Greenfield? We're happy to get information from folks who maybe stay mostly in Northampton, but come up here for certain things.
Yeah, and also they'll be more on the housing insecure side than literally homeless, I think, but.
Thank you.
Great.
It's 5 to 6 Tuesday in front of the library. I don't remember. I don't have on my.
I can send you the PDF, Pamela. Or if you look up Summer Eats, but it's
Okay,
Mondays skate park, Tuesdays public library. 5 to 6.
Monday is skate park?
Yeah.
There's Wednesday. Is anybody else gonna try to go? I mean, they had 100 and something over at the Summer Eats in front of the library, according to Pamela McBride.
What's the date again?
Mondays skate park, 5 to 6.
5 to 6.
Tuesdays public library.
Yeah.
So they could start my day so early.
Well, they don't wanna,
There's also
they
the
don't wanna
lunch-
answer questions in front of other people, so you kind of have to take them aside if they're willing. That's my experience. You don't wanna, it's personal information.
Yeah, so we
You
can,
have these, right? Yeah, so
we can keep sort of trying to catch folks at Summer Eats.
I'll get surveyed. I was focused
Yeah.
on the point in time.
Yeah, no, and that was,
I was point-
I think it's important that the point in time happened and is now starting to wrap up,
Mhm.
because this is a similar activity, but a very different purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now that that's done,
I'll switch over there.
yeah,
I got some.
and we can get you, do you have
I
printed?
have paper ones.
Okay, perfect, yeah. Yeah, and again, if you're doing the paper copies, just please collect them and then bring them to the next meeting.
okay.
Take one just for reference.
You feel good to go on to goals. I'm gonna screen share again. Another tab that I'm not screen sharing is a photo of my new kitten.
All right.
But okay, so this is some ideas of draft recommendations. Some things we've talked about, some things we haven't. And just to give you an overview, the first bucket is just things that help the affordable housing ecosystem in general. The second bucket is housing options that also help the affordable housing ecosystem in general, but could be more low-cost structures. Decriminalization, community response, life-sustaining activities, sanctioned encampment, which we've been talking about a lot, and access to public resources. So those feel like buckets of things we've been working on, and that would have complementary policy. I didn't email this out to anyone in advance, so sorry about that. That's because I was working on it last night, honestly. So, but my goal is that we could potentially have okay, hey, this is for example, like short-term rental, if we want to regulate them and charge a fee and then use that to fund projects that we want to work on, like, then let's make that so easy for council and have just like, okay, see attachment 2. And then it's just like, okay, here's exactly the language that council can just motion to adopt. So that would be my goal, is that for all of these things, it's just like feed it, and it's very easy to vote on.
So
So are you gonna send that to us? Cause
I can send it out.
want to read it and look it over closely, because it didn't really come out of this discussion from.
No, this is more policy and zoning things that we haven't super dived into yet. And it's probably a little bit much to get into at this point.
Although it's rooted in the conversations that we've been having.
It is rooted in the
all
conversation.
this conversation.
Right.
Yeah, like, yeah.
So I'm just looking at the housing options in the manufactured houses, the tiny houses, those things. Now, I don't mean to change the subject too much, but there was a bill signed last Friday, right? So I don't know what that's gonna look like for us around here.
What was the bill?
Could you tell us the bill?
Well, the bill is to
Criminalize.
criminalize people who are unhoused.
Yeah.
Right.
And open up psychiatric, like put people in
Oh,
psychiatric.
It's just
Yeah.
not a bit of the ugly
Yeah.
laws, if
Yeah.
anybody's familiar with. the
And
ugly
so
laws.
it's like, I don't know what that's gonna look like out here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the decriminalization piece is really requires a lot of research and is something that I don't know, like how much we can legally protect people. We can see.
Let me, again, thanks. I think between our law enforcement people, the sheriff, the police, to say, no, it is not a crime to be poor and homeless.
No, it's not.
I mean, to go on record. I think that's the first step. That, that the people who say things are, our lawyers or whoever, just for, and I don't have anybody from the press here, but, to let people know that our law enforcement people say, no, being homeless is not a crime.
Right.
We have a really powerful history in Greenfield of police choosing not to enforce
Mhm.
available options.
Yes.
That would criminalize the existence of people living without a home.
Yes.
And so that's awesome, right? And there are aspects of the ways that laws have changed in the last month that I think make it a lot harder to not say that explicitly and make people feel safe. Like, I think it's a lot easier now to sort of just go with the flow of criminalization. Even if you're not acting on it, because if you don't say something against it explicitly, people will go sort of, well, how do I know that I will be safe, right? So I agree. And I think that the ask of speaking out against something like that right now is a bigger ask than it was 2 months ago even.
Sure is.
And also, I'm curious, Sarah, if we can pull in the city lawyer. Do we have somebody like that who can help us maybe think about like what, if there are things that have happened that would make these things harder, right? If there are legal things that have happened recently that would make these things harder, if we can at a city level enact certain ordinances that would protect this kind of project.
Yeah.
I have zero idea.
The best resource is the National Homelessness Law Center, who I had a call with, and they're willing to keep supporting. I think the city attorney likely does not have experience in this, but I think, like, for example, this paragraph about like decriminalizing life-sustaining activities on public and private property until sufficient affordable, safe, decent housing is available. Re-examine policies and enforcement related to loitering, panhandling, sleeping in a legally parked car or trailer camper, and trespassing curfews on public land after 10 p.m. These are things that came from the National Homelessness Law Center, their materials. But yeah, I don't know the impact of like the federal changes, so I think researching that would be great. Yeah.
I'm not an expert, but with that executive order, like so far, nothing has actually changed. there's hints in it that the way the HUD grant for homelessness funding, which is like what the COC does, like they're gonna change the criteria for that and like what projects might get funded or whatever. But as of now, like nothing is any different. And I do agree that like even compared to 2 months ago, like law enforcement coming out and saying that like being homeless isn't a crime, like that is more risky, but I think it also is more important now more than ever, you know?
There are certain things that have changed, like effective July 4th, there are now work requirements for SNAP recipients.
Yes,
right?
yes, yes, all of that.
But yes,
Like
like,
that executive order.
yes.
Yes.
No, that's really important to say. Thank you.
Just lost my train of thought. I guess, I thought it was Robin that had maybe done some investigating, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that some of these recommendations need to go to A&O. And it is going to require either somebody looking at zoning, somebody looking at the ordinances, because like sleeping in a legal parking lot in your own car should not be a problem. If we have an ordinance that says that's a problem, it's illegal. The other example is if I were homeless and I had a family here in town and they said, just put up a tent in our backyard with our permission. My understanding is that's illegal. So we need to have somebody, and I'm assuming it would be city council, it might have to go to A&O, look closely at what, I don't know if it's the city charter or an ordinance that says you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't stay in a camper. You know, like that is a change that we would love to see, I'm assuming, this group of people and other people as well. So you're not in jeopardy of breaking the law. That belongs in front of city council, who then will say, okay, this is an ordinance change and this needs to go to A&O. They'll talk it out, they'll make amendments, then they bring it to full city council. That's how things get implemented as
Yeah.
far as I can
But
understand.
we can start here is what I think.
Right, but so I recommend that we take the zoning ordinance stuff and send it off to them ASAP.
Well,
Because
I
this is
think
not
As a
happening
city
fast.
councilor, I know that people want it sent to them, like,
Yeah.
it's really a lot of work to do this research and to make like amendments to the ordinances and to zoning, as much as we can say like, this is what you need to strike through and this is what you need to add.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do.
I love the idea of I think ideally.
I don't know, appointments and ordinances, and Catherine Golub, the chair, I've been having conversations with Catherine Golub, the chair, about a lot of these things already, and she's on board, but.
If we can swing it, I think for every recommendation that we make, if it is an actionable recommendation by city council, if we can provide boilerplate language that is tailored to Greenfield and would be ready to go as a voting matter,
Exactly.
if we can basically provide that for everything that we recommend that is like an immediately actionable thing, that would be incredible.
Yeah, and as a counselor, I can put forward all of these things, like I don't need anyone else to do it, like I just coming as a recommendation from the committee is the strongest, because it means that many minds considered it. And yeah. But I'm just thinking about like, also we only have 10 minutes left, but I'm just thinking about open meeting law is very tricky to work on a collaborative document of recommendations. So just, I don't know how folks want to approach this. I'm almost even wondering if like around on what people are interested in, or like how to, I don't know how to, because this is just like basically a lot of work that's not really necessarily meeting time. Just like, so how do folks, and also it's okay if people aren't interested in doing some of this stuff, but yeah, just to gauge where people are at with how they want to engage with pieces of it.
I have a question about that. Is it possible for this to get downloaded as an editable text document that then each of us individually could add comments to, that we could review at our next meeting?
I think
Because then it would be individual work outside of
I asked
time.
the state, whatever open meeting law, about collaborative.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
a text document that each of us can download, individually make comments to, and then bring.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. We could definitely do that. We just can't collaboratively edit.
Right, but a Google Doc is collaboratively editing. where we're all
So that's
working on.
breaking an open meeting law. If we actually look at a document and want to write on it,
If we're all working on the same document, that
Yes.
violates open meeting law.
okay, then I don't see how this works.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't
It's really hard to do.
understand.
It's really hard to do. It's hard to work on.
Because this is, how many pages
You
is
can also
this?
co-work on it and
Do it.
in
In
person.
pairs.
Yeah, my image would be
Co-work on
to,
it in less than a quorum, or we can co-work on it in live time.
my image was, in my head was like, have this as a rich text document where it's literally just words on a page,
Yeah.
either printing it out or downloading it onto my computer, typing into it, and then bringing that, my copy,
Yeah.
to the meetings.
Yeah.
Or
Um,
handwriting notes.
or handwriting notes, printing it out as handwriting notes, sticking it, whatever, right? But if each of us was individually adding comments and thinking to it, and then each of us brought our individual comments to the next meeting, that would,
Yeah, we can give this way more attention next meeting. And also, I don't think it's helping with the idea of like, let's channel our focus. But I do think it's helpful maybe to just think of it as like short-term versus long-term things. Like I feel like short-term, there's a lot of like policy zoning things that we can do. And then long-term, it's like the sanctioned encampment or the equitable approaches to public safety for an unarmed community responder program. Like those are pretty long-term.
also, I would say there's a difference between being comprehensive and being vague. And I think that we can be comprehensive and specific. Like, I love this because I think that coming at this problem from a lot of different angles is critical. And I think that the more we provide specific recommendations that are actionable and perhaps have an addendum that's like, here is the thing that we can pass, the easier it will be for all of those things to get done. And I think that if we keep everything really specific, we don't necessarily have to delete things from our recommendation list.
How many pages long is that?
It's 2 pages.
Oh, it's 2.
It's just 2 pages. But I'm sure with all the attachments that would come with it, it would be pretty long.
Again, I love the long-term things you're doing, and I actually have a friend in New Haven, Connecticut, who, and they had a double lot, and they have small houses in their backyard.
Oh, I watched a little documentary
Yeah,
about
our
those are your
co-
friends.
yeah.
That's so fun.
Catholic worker community has done that. But I mean, I think we have these wonderful plans, but in the meantime, is there a toilet out at this place? That's what they need.
Totally.
You know, I mean, we've got garbage bags.
Well,
They've
there's a porta potty.
guys. And could we please, I mean, we talked about setting a date some Saturday, but in August, I mean, I did hear people say, we need something before September 27th. So can we just pick a date in August that we want people to show up?
That was fine, August 23rd.
Yeah, it sounded like August 23rd was,
August 23rd.
Okay, great. Got a date.
I actually wanted to ask about the porta potties. It felt like we had hit a dead end with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and make one more phone call, and see if anything comes of it, but it's no new information. Thank you.
Well, I reached out to the mayor's office and they said they are cleaning them on a steady
Yeah,
basis.
yep.
You know, we know the name of the company. I went to finance people. They directed me over here and said they are tending to them.
Yep,
So if they're not in good shape, a phone call to the mayor's office is, I think, what needs to happen.
yep.
Right, that was where we left it.
Right, yeah.
Thank you.
Seems like you two are maybe most interested in the policy zoning stuff, so maybe we can figure out.
Yes.
Work on that.
Also, you just took on a lot on your plate,
Yeah.
so if you want to be a support role and not a lead role for that, I'm happy to take point on that.
Thank you. Okay, so how do folks feel about choosing a next time to meet? And also any guests and topics that we would want to get into? I'm feeling like we have a lot of in-between work to do potentially, so maybe even a month seems potentially reasonable, or 3 weeks or something, to have time to take some action steps in between.
3 weeks would be right before the 23rd, so that
Oh,
might
that
be a
seems good.
nice option.
21st.
21st. let's,
Yeah,
let's do
21st
that.
of August.
All right. And I will try to maybe invite the 413 cares person to the meeting.
I had a
Maybe-
unhoused who wanted to come and said he'd be here early and he didn't come today, but
Sean,
no, it wasn't Sean. No, it was a gentleman who said he'd like to come and give input because I said they're always looking for people to be here. I have no idea. I mean, Sean has a job, but this guy is a homeless person who's a former veteran, really very articulate with me. So I'll look for him and see maybe it would be good to just have input from the unhoused and be vague and not list a name so that, you know, maybe Christy can be here next time too, but we keep asking unhoused to show up. At least I certainly do.
It's hard to get folks to come up here.
Yeah.
It's lunchtime. People go to Salvation Army, like 11, they go to Sally's for lunch.
Yeah.
You know, outside on survival mode, it's hard
Yeah.
to step out of your survival mode and come into a city council meeting.
And to know what time it is,
Mhm.
like, at a
Even though
more
it's 10
sort of
o'clock.
basic level.
And I even know it's even 10 o'clock. Some folks don't even have a telephone or watch or anything. They ask me what time it is a lot of times.
So I hate, I mean, my role in life, I think sometimes is to beat the dead horse, but so we still don't, and there's still no toilet out there? I mean, this is ridiculous.
yeah, that's why we're working on a sanctioned encampment. It's like things are, you can't camp anywhere. It's all illegal. So if we're starting like by trying to figure out how to have organized access to resources and with a legal spot for camping that's not a flood zone. So I think that like, yes, there's no bathroom. People are like, it's bad for the environment. It's bad for people. It's like bad. Yeah.
Specifically, if what you are doing to stay alive is illegal, it's really hard to get services to help you stay alive, right? So the decriminalization piece is, we've run into that barrier several times in the conversations that we've had with city officials and different city agencies. And the porta potty issue, there is a porta potty, and it has not typically been well maintained or cleaned, and so it is not usable really, and so.
It was fine when I saw it.
That's
I
great.
mean, maybe I need to go and keep checking it out, but there was nothing wrong with it.
So there's been quite a bit of back and forth about like, who's responsible for that and how is it getting cleaned?
Yeah.
And is it getting cleaned? And
And when
if
is it
somebody
getting-
says yes to that, is it actually happening?
Is when it's getting clean, because that should be, with all them
Right.
folks, that should be done twice a day.
Right,
Yes.
which seems unlikely
You know
at
what I
this
mean?
point.
Should be
It's a
done twice a
playground
day.
park, it's a double dog park,
People play
and it's a
baseball out there.
baseball diamond, and it's the encampment, so
It should be done twice a day.
it's where everybody's hanging out.
Well, what a rich meeting. Sorry, I could talk forever,
I think we got through the whole.
but we did, yeah, very productive. And thanks for guests for joining us and for the regulars joining as
Excuse
well.
my language too. Sometimes I just get totally frustrated.
It's warranted.
about all of it.
Yeah,
It's
100% more.
Mhm.
why are things slow when action's needed now?
Thanks for having interlopers.
It's, well, before we can totally leave, someone needs to make a motion
I
to,
move that we end the meeting.
Second,
all in favor?
Great.
Zoe?
Zoe?
Aye.
so we
Okay, thank you all.
Thanks for being here remotely, Zoe.